what if reality isn't something you live in, but something you actually create? Welcome to this deep dive into Seth's The Nature of Personal Reality. It's quite a source, offers this, well, radical instruction manual for existence.
Absolutely. And our mission today is really to map out those mechanics.
Yeah.
We're looking into sources claiming your conscious beliefs, the ones you hold right now, aren't just thoughts.
Right.
They're like the operating code. They run the whole unconscious machinery that, well, that materializes your personal experience.
Okay, so if we had to boil it down to one key thing for today, what would it be?
It's understanding why now the present moment is the ultimate point of leverage. It's not just a time for action. We're going to explore why the sources say it's the only truly effective moment for making fundamental changes in your reality.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. The blueprint for ourselves.
Exactly. The sources state it pretty clearly.
Yeah.
Your conscious beliefs, right now, they determine the unconscious forces shaping your life.
So if that's the rule, how do we usually mess it up? Where do we accidentally put limits on this power?
Well, it often starts with identity. It's fascinating how restrictive our self-image can become.
How so?
If you mainly see yourself through just one lens, like your job title, or maybe only as a parent, you are, according to this material, kind of automatically closing yourself off from what it calls untrodden paths and unused abilities.
So it's like having this huge potential, but we just stick to one small corner, defining ourselves by that.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. And the sources even suggest an exercise. Try to forget that familiar view of yourself for a moment.
Okay.
And instead, list every capability you have, physical, mental, even the ones that are barely there, or maybe just a fleeting interest you never really pursued.
Those little sparks of interest, the things we thought maybe someday, what are they in this framework?
They represent your multidimensional self.
Yeah.
Or what the sources call your possible self.
Possible self.
Yeah, the idea is we're not just one fixed self, but maybe a cluster of possibilities, all closely connected. Those latent traits, they're like characteristics waiting for their cue.
Waiting in wings?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They just stay potential until you make a conscious decision right now in the present to draw them out and make them real material. You essentially choose which version of you gets activated.
Okay, so we're shifting from identity to how things actually manifest, how potential becomes fact.
Right. Every single thing that happens in your life, good or bad, big or small, it was once just one possibility out of infinite options.
Floating out there.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And conscious thought, particularly when it's driven by a really strong belief, that's the mechanism that pulls that specific possibility into solid reality.
The sources use a specific example here, right? Something about theft.
Yes, and it's a challenging one because it obviously involves more than one person's reality converging. You have the person experiencing the loss and the person perpetrating the act.
So, if belief creates reality, how did their beliefs work together to make the same event happen? It seems tricky.
The sources explain it carefully. It's about beliefs attracting the conditions for the event. So if someone has this core belief that, say, the world is fundamentally greedy or that they're bound to lose what they have, that belief acts like a psychological signal. But for the event itself to materialize, there needs to be some kind of shared underlying belief system between the people involved.
Shared? How?
Maybe a similar fundamental sense of scarcity or deep distrust, even if they react to it in opposite ways. One is victim, one is aggressor.
Okay, but I have to ask the obvious question here. Doesn't that stray into blaming the victim?
That's a really important point. And the source material tries to distinguish this. It's framed not as moral fault, but as energetic convergence.
Energetic convergence.
Yes. The event needs both sides of the belief coin, so to speak. The belief that something must be taken, maybe out of desperation or perceived right, and the deep-seated belief that something can or likely will be taken from you.
And the event itself then reinforces those beliefs.
Exactly. The sources emphasize that the material event, the theft, then acts to confirm and rationalize both sets of original beliefs, strengthening that initial programming. The event reflects the psychic energy that set the stage for it.
Understood. It's about the underlying mechanics, not blame. Now, if belief creates reality, why isn't it instant? If I decide right now I'm wealthy, why doesn't cash just appear?
Yes. The time lag. That's crucial. The source material talks about a temporal gap. The realization of a belief has to filter through our physical nervous system and what it calls our animal nature's perception of time.
Animal nature's perception of time. Can you break that down a bit, make it less academic?
Sure. Think of it just as physical momentum. Our body, our environment, they run on ingrained habits, habits of thought, habits of action.
Right.
Your nervous system is literally wired according to the old program, the old beliefs. If you believe something limiting for decades, changing it means you have to overcome the inertia of that established physical, even biological rhythm.
Like turning a huge ship. The rudder moves, but the ship takes time to change course.
Exactly like that. That lag isn't a flaw. It's actually necessary for physical continuity, for stability in our experienced reality.
So if momentum is the issue, the only place to apply the brakes or change direction is right now.
Precisely. This gets us to the absolute core of it. The single most important sentence to grasp is, the present is the point of power.
The point of power.
Yes. It's that specific, singular moment where your physical self and your psychic creative ability meet. It's the only point where a new instruction can actually start to redirect the momentum from the past.
Okay, so explain the power of the now more practically. What does that mean for someone listening?
It means this very second is the only point where all your capacities, physical, mental, spiritual, are actually focused.
Yeah.
Any feeling that the past dictates the present, or that you're powerless now because of yesterday, that's a belief, not a fact.
So we project our current dislikes into the future unnecessarily.
Exactly. The sources warn against it. You don't have to carry today's worries or illnesses into tomorrow unless you use your present power, right now, to actively instruct the future that they belong there.
Before we go further, we need to touch on the limits. The source talks about this. If the present is so powerful, why can't it just say regrow a limb that was lost at birth?
Right, and this is an important grounding point.
Mm-hmm.
The sources do acknowledge constraints tied to our animal nature in this particular physical reality system.
Okay.
So the immediate power of belief might not override major established biological structures like that. However, this is the key distinction they make. Within those broad biological outlines, pretty much any external circumstance.
You're like illness or finances.
Oh, yes, chronic illness, financial lack, social isolation. Those are presented as mutable, changeable.
Yeah.
If you can root out and change the underlying limiting beliefs, the external circumstances have to reorganize eventually. They reflect the inner state.
Let's unpack that reorganization, specifically how the present interacts with the past. It sounds like rewriting history, which feels impossible.
Well, in a way, you are rewriting your experience of it. Your beliefs right now act like instructions for your whole personality, and they don't just organize the present. They simultaneously organize and reorganize your relationship to past events.
How?
Think of your current core belief as a magnet. It pulls forward only those memories, happy or sad, that reinforce what you believe now.
So if I believe I'm fundamentally unlucky,
Your memory will instantly serve up every instance that confirms unlucky, while experiences of good fortune or success become sort of invisible, dimmed down.
okay. And this explains why constantly digging into the past to find out what went wrong can be counterproductive.
Exactly. It's a major pitfall. Asking what's wrong with me or where did it all go wrong becomes a cognitive habit. It reinforces the very limitation you're trying to escape because you keep energizing the problem pattern by focusing on its roots in the past.
That feels like a really hard habit to break, though. We're kind of trained to diagnose problems by looking back.
It is probably the biggest psychological hurdle mentioned, and the solution feels completely backwards. You have to actively restructure your past from the viewpoint of the now.
How do you do that?
If you're ill, you deliberately search your memory for evidence of health, vitality, times you felt strong. If you feel lonely, you look for proof of past successful connections, moments of belonging, however small they seem now.
You're using the present moment's focus to highlight different memories.
Yes, to make those desired past experiences feel vivid and real now. That activates a different emotional response, a different set of instructions for your nervous system right here in the present.
Okay, let's shift to the how-to. How do we apply this power day to day? The sources talk about something called natural hypnosis.
Right? Natural hypnosis here simply means a state of focused attention. It's your ability to concentrate intensely on one chosen belief while consciously shutting out contradictory information.
So our current beliefs are already acting like hypnotists.
In a sense, yes. They give the ongoing instructions that our automated physical and emotional experiences just follow, like autopilot.
But the conscious mind is the gatekeeper here. It has to accept the instruction first.
Absolutely vital. Conscious screening, no negative belief, whether it comes from the news, your family history, whatever, can really take root unless your conscious mind first accepts it, focuses on it, and filters out the evidence that contradicts it. You're the editor deciding what gets attention.
So what are the practical daily steps someone can take to break that old hypnotic suggestion and install a new one?
Action is key. It's not just thinking about it. You need to give your nervous system a clear physical signal that the new program is running. The first step suggested is the 5-minute focus.
Okay, the 5-minute focus. Tell us about that.
At least once a day, just for 5 minutes, and no longer. That's important. You direct all your attention, all your energy towards the desired state.
So visualize it, feel it.
Yes. Embody the health or the abundance or the confidence you want. And crucially, during those 5 minutes, you explicitly avoid focusing on the current lack or problem.
And then what happens after the 5 minutes?
This is the critical part. You must completely forget about it. Let it go. Don't check for results. Don't analyze if you did it right. Just drop it.
Why is forgetting it so important? It seems like you'd want to hold on to it.
Because if you immediately start looking for proof or worrying if it worked, you're snapping your focus right back to the old reality, the lack, the problem. You're reintroducing doubt, which cancels out the instruction you just gave. The idea is you direct the energy, then trust the unconscious mechanisms, the creator part, to handle it.
Okay, direct and release. And there's a second action item, something more physical.
Yes, the symbolic gesture. This is about making a specific physical action that demonstrates concrete confidence in the new belief, primarily to your own nervous system. It's like giving yourself immediate physical proof that you believe it.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. If the issue is poverty consciousness, the gesture might be buying something just slightly nicer or more expensive than you normally would as an act of faith in incoming abundance. It signals trust.
Okay, what about loneliness?
Maybe the gesture is simply making deliberate, warm eye contact and offering a genuine smile to a stranger. A physical demonstration of willingness to connect.
And maybe for confidence.
Could be adopting a specific posture. Standing tall, shoulders back, chin up, even if you don't feel confident, and holding it for, say, 30 seconds. You're signaling confidence directly to your physical self, bypassing the doubting mind for a moment.
So zooming out from the techniques, what's the big picture takeaway here?
Fundamentally, it's that you're not just a passive observer drifting through a fixed universe. You are, in every moment, actively choosing which world, and maybe more importantly, which version of your own self you experience, selecting from countless possibilities available right here in this ever-moving now.
And this connects to broader things, too, right? Like
Yeah.
cultural beliefs about aging.
Definitely. The sources suggest that even widely held beliefs like youth lacking wisdom or old age automatically meaning decline and less joy are just mass agreements, mass hypnotic suggestions that limit our actual physical potential.
Our bodies respond to these beliefs, too.
Absolutely. The body's processes aren't walled off from this. The claim is quite bold. If someone truly deeply convinced themselves they were, say, 10 years younger or older, their physical state and even their personal environment would start to reorganize to faithfully reflect that dominant instruction set.
That is quite a thought to end on, that our physical limits, energy levels, how we experience age, might not be as fixed as we assume.
So maybe, as you go about your day, consider this. How much of what you perceive as your current reality, your boundaries, your struggles, maybe even your energy today, isn't some unchangeable fact, but perhaps the cumulative effect of a belief about yourself, about your capacities that you accepted, maybe without even realizing it in some previous now?
Which reality are you instructing into existence right now?